Good Monday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the Internal Combustion Engine Age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and motorcycles, SUVs, the Kiefer dog, the camper, the pool. Yeah, you hear them? Hey, there's an Ice Age TV sticker if you want one. Ice Age TV comments at gmail.com. If you want a sticker, I'll mail it to you. So, wow. Hey, good Monday morning there. What a beautiful Monday morning. It really is. It's actually not too bad heat-wise. It's hot. It's not radically humid, but we are supposed to have another heat advisory. Every day has been heat advisory around this area, this Virginia, Maryland, D.C. area. Hear that Kiefer dog? It's so funny. He's done with Ginger, all dogs, all night long in the house. But yet he's going nuts as we go to the barn. But as always, thanks so much for tuning in my channel. And this craziness of the dog, Kiefer dog that is. You know, it's really weird. Yesterday, I was with Kiefer all day long because I bought my wife a brand new television. Yes, I bought my wife a belated anniversary gift and an early birthday gift. It wasn't really her birthday yesterday. Her birthday's not until August. But I just figured the amount of money I spent yesterday, it's going to be both. That's the most expensive TV I bought my whole lifetime. 65-inch TV. Wasn't planning on buying a 65. I was planning on buying a 55 and spending like $1,000 and not a gazillion dollars. But you know the Ice fan, once he goes to look at something, it's always the latest, greatest. I got to have that. The point of that conversation is I was with Kiefer all day, and I am taking an Advil, like sinus and, I don't know, allergy type of pill. And it's just weird in how I didn't have any effect. You know, Kiefer yesterday did not have any impact on my well-being. Come on, Tango! Nope, you're not going upstairs. Tango! Come on, bud. And so it's kind of really weird on how his hair had... Come on, Tango, get up there. His hair hasn't affected me. And I was with him online all day yesterday. And here, you got to get the lights, the camera, the action, going to the shops. So it's just really weird on what's going on with that. And it's his hair because he sheds so much. But keep in mind, he's not living out in the camper. I'm the lone stranger in the camper. You know what? That camper is actually paying off. People don't know all the details of my personal life. And you just, I can't do it. My wife will be pissed as hell at me if I give you every freaking detail of my whole relationship. But I'm going to tell you what. This camper has been a blessing in so many ways. It really has. It's opened up some things in my house where my wife is a lot happier. And it isn't about us not being together. It's about her living arrangements, her much more accommodating to her more than ever. And there's just a lot to that. But the point is, the wife's really happy. And I got a really nice TV. So my wife, she works from home, but at the same time she doesn't. Meaning she's been going into work a lot lately. She has a new boss. So she hasn't been at home as much as she usually is. And but the point is, I got that nice TV because when I built that addition, it's hard to believe. It took me about 2 years to build this back addition back here. And because I paid for it as I built it. So I paid cash. So, that cost me like $200,000+. But I paid for it as I went along. I didn't finance that. So that whole back addition, that was 2013 and 14 project. And I made it into like our living quarters, master bedroom. And I didn't have the deck on there. Wasn't until the pandemic of like April or May of 2020, Joe and I built that deck. So it was like 6 years before I actually built that deck. And that damn thing in 2020 cost me about 15 grand, which today that'd be like 30 grand. And anyways, the whole point is my wife really does enjoy to watch TV. She's more of the inside person than outside person. And I bought a brand new TV for that back living area 10 years ago, and it doesn't have the smart technology in it. It does, but it's archaic. And so that's why I kind of came to closure yesterday, if you watch my channel, that I decided to go out and buy a brand new TV to make it, because she likes to watch Netflix. She likes to watch YouTube. She likes to watch YouTube TV. We have Prime, what is that? Amazon Prime. So anyways, the whole point of this is I went out and got a really nice, latest, greatest Sony TV. And that TV, it feels like you could walk into the screen and be in the TV. It's so real like. So wife's really excited about that. Here's the pool. Love the pool. I mean, I just can't emphasize enough that this pool is a blessing. And what's really crazy is I really was starting to question myself if it was worth me buying a pool this year, even getting the pool going. And because it's just, we've had kind of sporadic summers, but as hot as and dry as it's been here, this has been a blessing. I mean, I just live in this pool. And last night, I spent time putting even more tape on this pool. If you look here, I even put more tape. Kind of get the wraps. It's that Gorilla duct tape. Is really good stuff. Look at that. I mean, that stuff adheres underwater. So, and is it dripping a little bit? A little, but not radical. Then I put more epoxy stuff on this here, hoping that keeps that thing. So the pool is really clean. It has a really nice filtration system. Just anybody out there looking to buy a pool, this was $1,200, and they really have made a much better filtration system for this pool than they did years ago. And the key is just having a level area. That's the challenge of putting this pool up. And then if you watch my channel, you'll get the rest of that. But boy, I tell you what, it is so dry. We're not getting any rain. It's not really breaking my heart because I get sick of cutting grass. I mean, I've cut grass so many years. So as you get the Monday going, and I know, kind of a little off kilter here, getting the morning going, but I just like to share my fun and enthusiasm of what I do, and I do it on my channel. And what are we going to talk about today? That's the thing. What are you talking about? So I talked earlier about Kiefer's hair. So I thought, you know what? We'll talk about hair. And the reason I'm talking about hair is what happened over the weekend with somebody we all know, famous, that just about died, that escaped by a hair. That's what drove that this morning's conversation. Is Donald Trump, it's by a hair. You know what that meaning is in life is you escaped it by a hair, or just a thin margin of him being possibly seriously injured or dead, or he escaped by a hair, which is I'm sure most people here say, yeah, that's the dang truth. So the hair conversations also relate to Mr. Kiefer Dog here, who does make it challenging. But like I say, it's kind of interesting how I haven't been having the same reaction to him. But I don't know. Who knows? We'll have to kind of see how that plays out. Because one of my subscribers thinks I should rehome that dog. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, my wife, that ain't going to happen. You don't know my wife. But I don't want to do that. I mean, for the most part, you just have to kind of give it some time. And that's all. It's always about time. But the hair conversation is still research. Never have been a hair person, even though, I mean, hair is the whole thing in the world, thing of mankind, hair. And I thought, okay, let's find out what the definition of hair is. And so there's 4 types of hair. You have the straight hair, the wavy hair, the curly hair, and then like the kinky, or I should say curly hair, or the kinky coily hair. So let's say it again: straight, wavy, curly, and then coily type of hair. You know what I'm talking about. And what's really intriguing about the hair, and everybody that owns a car, truck, house, what's the most common thing, especially if you have dogs or cats? I mean, it's huge on the hair. If you go to my vehicles, you'll see where Kiefer's been in each vehicle, because there's just hair everywhere. And years ago, when I used to have a Dalmatian, the Dalmatians are the worst because they have like little spears. Their hair literally is like a little spear, and it's very challenging to get out of your cloth interior and your carpet interior if you have leather interior. And I've talked about it before, but years ago when I used to always be selling and buying my cars and trading them in like I do today, back in the 90s, early 2000 years, I had a Dalmatian, and every time I traded in my vehicle, you just knew the people in the back end were like, oh my gosh, here's the Iceman trading in his car again. And the car is just covered in spears of Dalmatian hair. Who doesn't know these stories when it comes to you owning an animal, cats, whatever. So yeah, and hair balls. What's the biggest, thing about cats? They lick their own fur with that sandpaper style tongue. and they end up having, hairballs. That's a huge problem for cats. You got to give them special treats or medication to try to kind of contain that. And who hasn't seen a cat throw up a hairball, or even a dog to degree? But here's what's interesting on who has the most amount of hair: a blonde, a brunette, black hair, red hair. So believe it or not, a blonde has like 150,000 hair strands. A brunette has like 110,000. Black hair is about 100,000, and a redhead is 90,000. So if you're a redhead, you're thin hair. Isn't that something? And then, of course, like for me, I'm losing my hair. I've got the gene, one of my grandfathers that lost his hair, and then also have the gene from my mother that I had very early gray hair. When I was like in 6th or 7th grade, I was already starting to get gray hair. My mother, when she was very young, she was already starting to get strands of gray hair. So for me, even though I'm getting older, I started getting gray hair probably at least 10 years, if not 20 years earlier than most people did. And I started losing my hair as well. And so once again, the conversation is all about Donald Trump, because he survived by a hair, if you kind of know what I mean by that. And then what has the news been about? Just 24/7? Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, right. Yeah, we've seen every different angle, every different theory, every different blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we all know that story. But here's the thing. Saturday, I got up Saturday morning, and I realized my Indian FTR had an expired sticker on it for the Virginia registration, and I was curious to see if the bike would even start. And I barely have even ridden this bike. I basically rode this motorcycle home from Motorcycles of Dulles, apparently back in January. That's hard to believe I bought that in January. I thought I bought it last year. I rode it home. Well, once again, it just doesn't sound right. I don't know why that is, because my daughter and I rode bikes, but I just had gotten my Harley Davidson Breakout. I thought I got that like in December. But anyways, so I rode it down there, and I rode it home. And then my daughter and I did ride this one time around the neighborhood, and if I remember right, I put the daughter on the Breakout because her daughter really wanted this Harley Davidson Breakout. And we went up the road, and we had to pull over because she couldn't really ride the bike. It was just, the reach is just way too far for her size, stature. You know, you have to have good long legs. So we pulled over, so then I put her on the FTR, and we got back in. She's just like, I hate that motorcycle. I do not like that FTR motorcycle. I'm like, wow, really? I thought she might kind of like it. So that was the last time we rode the bike. I guess that was in January. And so on Saturday, I did my 360 Insta camera, and I think I did a little better job this time. I figured out how to set the settings so you get a little better view. But even at that, you just don't get... Sadly, the best video I have is on this phone. If you watch my motorcycle videos, the best video is from this phone. Yeah, it's not the smartest way to ride a motorcycle, as most of my viewers know. So, Insta360, took it down there, and I really wanted to go down there because they had a really cool Indian Scout 101 that kind of had the paint theme colors like the CBR Fireblade and the Afro Twin, the white, and the colors. It looked like a really cool bike. So if you watch my channel, I did go down to the Motorcycles of Dulles on Saturday, and I got them to give me an inspection, which was nice of them to get it right in. And then they let me ride the brand new Indian 101, and I did a little review. And yeah, I haven't mastered yet how to Bluetooth the 360 through my helmet to be able to talk as I'm videoing. I haven't figured that out. You know what I found? I think I have an old CVO. I found this in the Grand Wagoneer yesterday. I swear this is from my first CVO 2024 Platinum that I bought. And I forgot to turn this in when I traded the bike in. I guess this could be, who knows? I don't even know. I've had so many CVOs. But I found that in the Grand Wagoneer yesterday. And it isn't for this bike. I already know. So somebody say, well, what's that bike right there? No, because the ST doesn't have locking bags. I don't think it does. We can look inside here. It would have a mechanism. See, well, it does, doesn't it? Does it? No. I don't think it does. That could be wrong. I don't think this. Well, you know what we do? We just find the key in the damn thing, and we try it right now. Where is the key? Ha! Yeah, where's the key? Who the hell knows where the key is? It's probably in the frickin', yeah, I'll take all morning. It's probably in the side bag here. Whatever. So it just doesn't end. All the vehicles I have, man, I mean, I'm telling you what, it gets too damn complicated. Keys and keys and keys. So down there at the Motorcycle to Dulles, I rode the Indian Scout 101. Nice bike, but it's the exact same bike as FTR in my world. It's apparently this is a 1200 cc because it says FTR 1200, and the new Indian Scout is a 1250. But it's the same engine. To me, it's the same engine, and it's all the same technology of this motorcycle here. Has all the new upgraded technology here on the infotainment screen and everything else. So the bike to me is really just an FTR in a different frame and a different body posture. That's all it is. So it takes forever for this technology to load. Isn't that something? It just doesn't end. So, you know, it's really incredible. When you have a YouTube channel, you have a friend, you're trying to show somebody something, and it takes forever for it to do what it does. So this has all the different screens in it. And so the Indian new Scout, it's the exact same technology. And it's an updated, bigger, bored-out motor. So it is a more powerful motorcycle, I guess, than this. That's kind of hard to believe, but I guess it is. But it's a good riding bike. I rode it. I liked it. And if in all sincereness, if they were to give me good money on this FTR, would have I traded out for that? Probably. Probably would have. Because my daughter, I know for sure, would like that bike. It'd be a little more just another thing to have. And it's a more comfortable bike. This is not a comfortable bike. What I really noticed on the FTR here is, in some ways, you could probably say it's a lot like the CBRs here, but the front rake is so steep. This thing is so temperamental. When you turn it, it turns so fast. It's just so twitchy. So I'm not in tune with that bike. I can ride the back roads better on my Harleys, my Honda Goldwing, the Breakout, my Triumph, because this bike is so twitchy. It is so reacts to your steering like instantly. So I don't feel confident on that motorcycle. I'm not in tune with it. On the other hand, on the frickin' Breakout, oh my gosh, that thing is so much fun. So sure enough, we ran some numbers down there, and which I already knew. I said to him, I already know the numbers. You're gonna tell me my bike's worth $6 or $7 grand. This was like a $16,000 new motorcycle. And so sure enough, he came back at $9 grand. Oh, yeah, right. No way. And then the so-called Scout 101, which is the performance-oriented brand new Indian, they're going to get 2 for the whole year. So the owner's like, there's no way I'm giving that away. So he's like, I ain't this kind of thing, because I'm going to find somebody to buy the thing full price, and you're not getting it, Mr. Iceman. So, which is all fine. It's not a big deal. But if they would have, I told them, I said, you give me like 10, 11 grand for my FTR, and then you take like a good 2 grand, I get 2 grand or so off the Scout, I would consider the deal, because then to me, in my world, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to get like 13. If I get like 13 for this thing, because they're discounting the other one, yeah, the numbers would probably it would be basically swapping a payment for a payment. So I probably would have done that, but nah, not even close. So, but it's all right. It's not a big deal. So when I came home, I was having so much fun. I get this itch in me just to ride motorcycles. It's just weird. Sometimes days I'm like, I don't want to ride a motorcycle. But then I get this itch. I just want to ride motorcycles. So I came home that Saturday, and I jumped right onto the Harley Davidson Breakout. And even then, I was like, what do I ride? Part of me, I got to ride the Triumph. I haven't ridden this thing in ages, which I will. This is such a great, badass bike. But I was like, you know what? I want to ride the Breakout. So I went from 2 totally different style bikes, a sit upright race bike to a kickback cruiser bike. This is your cruiser bike, not the touring bike. And then you look at this rake, the whole body posture. Oh my gosh. What a blast. I did a ton. I had more video than I actually published because it's just too much video. And I just rode this thing. I rode this thing probably a good 100 miles. And I actually went by my good friend Chris's house and Shannon's house when I was coming back in for my ride. Unbeknownst to me, they were having another birthday party. Chris had a birthday party yesterday. And happy birthday, belated birthday to Mr. Chris, because his birthday, I think it was like on Tuesday or Wednesday. But he wanted to get everybody over and have fun at his house. But I just showed up. We end up, all his friends had just surprised him. So we had a little Saturday evening bash and a great time. But then I came to closure. I got to go home because I don't want to be finding the deer. So I rode this thing home. But here's what I'm trying to kind of convey to those watching my channel. The Harley Davidson motorcycle is just so much fun. This bike is, I've ridden a lot of different motorcycles, and every time I come back to more of the cruiser or touring style bike. And to me, this bike is so much more fun than like the Indian FTR down here. It's just a more fun motorcycle. And for some people, the breakout doesn't really fit their stature or their style riding, but I was very impressed. I mean, I dragged some pedals or some, my foot pegs. I definitely did some dragging on the back roads. But it's just it's just so much fun the way the bike sounds, the 117 motor, the torque you feel out of it. But you know, it's incredible. I mean, this is just incredible. So this bike has a lot of vibration in it. So I was going down the road and I hit about 70 miles an hour, and I had my Apple phone. So I had my Apple phone all by itself here. You look here. So I had my Apple phone all by itself, sitting at cradle, and when I hit about 70, it flew out of the cradle. It literally flew out of the cradle and miraculously landed. It landed right between my leg and my body, and it locked right into that. What's the odds of that? I mean, come on. Think about that. That was like, what? I was like, oh, I've never had that happen. I've got all these Ram style mounts, but at the same time, I don't have many with open, just a total open air where it's getting an incredible amount of force and vibration through this front end of this bike. And just because it's, that's the Harley product, you get a lot of vibration. So, wow, I was blessed. I mean, if my phone would have flown off and gotten on the road, it would have probably broken. Then it would have been, where'd it go if it slid off into the ditch? Wow. You talk about God being on your side. Yeah. Sure, anybody that watched the Trump rally, yeah, did God give Trump another day? He did. Even though, sadly, there's so many out there on the other side of the equation that only wish the opposite happened. If you're on Twitter, X, you know the really mean, devious things that go on in mankind. That, so many people love the guy and so many people hate the guy. So others are disappointed, sadly. So what a great day of riding the motorcycles. And once again, it goes back to the collection of motorcycles that I have. And it just continues to kind of go back to the Harley product, even though I grew up on the Japanese motorcycles, the Yamahas, and then, having Kawasaki's and Hondas, Suzuki's, and I've had the mixture of a lot of different brands. But when it comes to the fun factor, it constantly comes back just to this good old V-twin air-cooled engine that has that rumble to it. And I really think the 117 is such the package for the Harley product. I like the 117 a lot more than 114. And then if you're really watching my channel, Saturday morning, when I got up, I thought to myself, the Lowrider ST back here, it's a great bike. It doesn't fit my stature. And I think now with the Harley Davidson Street Glide ST, I just think that's not going to be ridden as much. So I got this wild ass hair. What's it, the wild hair up your ass? Is that what they say? Yeah, the hair conversations, right? I got this crazy idea that I should trade that bike maybe for the Pan America CVO. Or maybe I trade it for the Tobacco Fade Ultra Limited or something. I don't know. Or just weigh the options. So I called my good friend Steve up there at Chesapeake Harley, and we spent a lot of time on the phone. And I said, I'd just be curious if there's even, the possibility to take the Lowrider ST and just swap it out for a different Harley. Even though deep down I'm like, I just don't think the numbers are going to work. We bought that bike a year ago, and we put some negative numbers into it. And so anyways, I spent a lot of time with him on the phone, and I said, I'd just be curious to what maybe would, be available, if even anything. You know what? He never even called me. He never even called me back. Sorry, but it wasn't really a big deal because I was out riding my motorcycles. And they're open on Sunday, so in all sincereness, if he would have called me and said, hey, man, you can get, the choice of whatever you want and, bring your bike up and blah, 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 I would have maybe considered that, but at the same time, I don't know. A lot of people out there in the Pan Am, Mr. Green Rush, he's adamant how I have to get a Pan Am motorcycle and a CVO. But I tell you what, on my comments section of my channel, a lot of people were weighing in, a few, not tons, that, man, when you buy that Pan America, it's yours for life because it's worth half. And I thought, but anymore, everything's worth half. And that's, once again, I was down there at Motorcycle of Dallas, and it's the same story that, and I talked about this on my channel on Saturdays, a lot of people are wanting to get out of their motorcycles, get out of their debts, because obviously the change of times are here, and or are they? It's once again, it's befuddling as all get out on, is it really, are the time to change here? Have people really run out of money? Are people really pulling back? But I will say this, my good friend Pete, that's a service manager down there at the dealership, he said they've actually, what's going on down there at Motorcycle of Dallas right now is those seem to have a pretty decent month, but then they kind of seem to have not such a great month. So it's kind of bouncing up and down versus it used to be really consistent. So I guess, and once again, the conversation there is a lot of people are calling them to want to give up their bike, or they're in for service. I talked about this on Saturday, redundant conversation. Those watch my channel, but those who are going for service, they do try to get a value of their bike while they're there to see if maybe they have interest of taking it off their hands. So the bike markets, as we all know, I think most understand it's soft to a degree, I guess, even though they're wanting premium money for that brand new Scout 101 and no Scout 101, but and once again, I'm just always the guy on the page that, hey, you know what, let's just evaluate, does it make any sense? And so I pulled the FTR out, so has the bike, has the garage grown even more? Yes, it has. Wow, what a weekend for Alcaraz, Carlos Alcaraz. 3 sets against Djokovic and Wimbledon. And Alcaraz, he was number 2, I think. I think he's going to be number 1 ranked player in the world. So Djokovic days, if you're a tennis person, you know Djokovic, who's an incredible tennis player. But I noticed he had like a wrap on his leg, so I'm sure that kind of had something to do with it. But for Carlos Alcaraz, he has Alcaraz, I think is how you pronounce it. He won the Wimbledon championship. Wow, I don't even know which woman got the championship there. I like watching tennis. I played tennis growing up. I really enjoy watching the U.S. Open, the Wimbledon. I enjoy all that stuff, but I wasn't getting it on my TV, so I just didn't really see much of it. So a great accomplishment for that young man who's rising to the status of fortunes. And then Messi, Lionel Messi of Argentina, he took the Copa Cup, and if you watch that last night, with 65 minutes in, he injured himself on, I think he was running too hard. He sprained or strained something. But that guy, as you know, he's the most famous player in our country, and he's the most famous known soccer player in the world, and he's the greatest so far, technically, the GOAT. He's won like 45 or 47 trophies. And remember, Miami drafted him out of Argentina or whatever. So he played for his own country in the Copa, but in real soccer, you're in our country, he's down there in Miami. If you're a real soccer player, you understand all that. And apparently, down there in Miami yesterday, they ran out of tickets or something at the stadium, and all the Argentinians and Colombians were going nuts because it was Argentina against Colombia. It was a great, great game. And there's the wife heading to work. And so it was a really great game. I'll keep you, boy. And so Messi, he was really bummed that he couldn't participate. But the great news is for him, he has another, championship under his belt. So wow, yeah, that was just really great. So really, some really great things over the weekend kind of played out in the sports arena. Hey, come on, Keith, back here. Come here, boy, come here. I don't want to get up there near the gate. Besides, wander out the road and the wife takes off. But yeah. So for all the gatherings of people getting together, those are some great events. And sadly, as we all know, the rally for Donald Trump, somebody was hit. That's when I first saw that. This is what's crazy. I was over at Chris and Shannon's house. We're all on the back deck, and Chris gets a phone call, and he's like, "What? What?" You can tell something's going on. And I was like, "What?" And he's talking to somebody. And so about a minute after him talking, he comes back. He was out on the deck, went in the kitchen, comes back and goes, "Hey, Donald Trump was just shot." And you kind of think, you're at first like, wait, really? Is this fake news or is it really happening? So it took a little while to figure out what was going on. But sure enough, as most people know, as time progressed, then the news media machine started just shooting out all the information about Donald Trump being grazed by the ear as he was there at Butler, Pennsylvania, doing his rally. And then, but when I saw that shooting, the first thing I thought about was who took the bullet. I mean, that's instantly what I thought to myself, is who took the bullet. It missed him, so it went to somebody else. So sadly, as we all know, somebody perished from that, and apparently two other people are in critical condition. And I'm sure most people watching my channel are probably pretty well abreast to the ongoing media coverage of that's just never ending with the Trump, I'm sure, I'm not going to even get into all that. I'm just sharing with you that when I heard about that was Saturday evening, and I'm surprised I didn't pick up my phone and just text my whole family on that. I didn't do that. But then I called my wife and I said, hey, she didn't know about it. And she's like, what? And so I told her about that. And it was pretty it just it kind of does. I think for most people out there, it is kind of nerve-wracking when you hear this stuff. You just think, what a shame. What a shame that you have to go do something that radical because you get all caught up in thinking you want to control the future. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, that's what happens in life. People do things to others to think that they can control the future of how things are going to play out. And it's so bad because it never works. And if you ever watch my video, How to Pray, I talk about this in prayer. When you pray to God, and I talk about this on how mankind seems to think that you can control the future. And that's the thing. That's the challenge, which we won't get into that conversation today. That'll be another day's conversation. So the Dark Horse Mustang, probably this week, my speculation is that I'd be getting a phone call Wednesday, Thursday, because they said they probably wouldn't start on it until the first part of this week. So my thoughts are Wednesday, Thursday, maybe even Friday, the Dark Horse is finished up, and I go pick that up, and there's a whole other story and adventures and the truck. Yesterday, I was tempted to go to the car meet, but at the same time, I kind of wanted to spend time with my wife and do other things. The kid wanted to go do something else anyways, and so that all played out really well because, once again, I went out and got my wife that nice new TV, and I'm going to tell you, she's just really excited about that. Anybody knows, you get something, the latest, greatest, that gets you all riled up and all excited on be able to watch TV more than ever today. Yeah, TV, right? All right, I think that's about it for everybody watching my channel. I'm sure I'll probably have forgotten something per se of what the next ride is. Yeah, I need to ride all these motorcycles, and the kid's been pretty content because she has a new boyfriend. So her energies, and that's something I'm surprised that Uncle Sanchez didn't reach out my channel. Very surprised, because I made a lot of video content on motorcycle riding, and I'm surprised he was not like, hey, where's Julia? Where's your daughter riding that brand new Streetline ST? Well, she's got a boyfriend. Yeah, she spent yesterday over at her boyfriend's house, and they had a big family get together and gathering, and she met all the aunts and uncles, and they had a blast, actually. So he's Peruvian. He was born here, but his parents are from Peru, and so he's Peruvian, and so it's that close family bond that you have, which people see, and we have it here too. Don't get me wrong. But anyway, she had a great time. So to answer, like Mr. Sanchez, if he would have reached out this morning or yesterday, I would have said, well, the kid's got other exciting things to do. You know, she's just that stuff right now isn't as exciting. But we'll be back on that. I can promise you that. Wonder what happened to Charles the Hood. I'm worried about my good subscriber, Charles the Hood, out of Oregon. He hasn't been on my channel. I sincerely hope he's okay. He's a great subscriber, and everybody out there, that you know, Don and Jenny, and I mean, I can go through the help desk, the Muppet. I mean, you can go. I mean, Randy. I mean, I'm sorry if I don't bring up your name, Mr. Porter, John Porter. I mean, there's so many different users out there. I just can't remember every single one of them as I sit here and talk this morning. But once again, Charles, he's such a cool guy. He grew up in this area. So he enjoys watching my channel because he can kind of see what's going on back where he used to live. And he's just a really cool guy, and we're just all on the same level, and that's what it's all about. We're all kind of on the same level. You know, before I finish it up, I gotta just ask you, everybody here, and I get it, it's all about how many subscribers you have. But yesterday when I was publishing some of my videos, it just befuddles me that how somebody can post a video within minutes. I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up my phone and not share the world with all my personal information, but I'm going to share with you how I took a picture of this one YouTuber. I talk about him all the time, Mr. Let's see here, Mr. Michael Bordenero. This guy had 901 views in 7 minutes. Wow. This guy has like 230,000 subscribers. So I can kind of, so then I noticed 44 minutes later, he had 6.3 thousand views. And what's interesting is this gentleman here, he brings you statistics, but it's, you know, I've talked about it many times. It's the same rhetoric every day. It's that everything's going south. It's the same thing. Let me see here if I got Dan the Man. So Dan the Man, in 2 minutes, he had 250 views. So if you go by 3, that's 6. 6 minutes, 3 times 250 is what? 600, 750. So these two guys in 7 minute, well, so he's outdoing them. Michael's outdoing him, and I know Dan has the same amount of subscribers. Why don't they do that? Versus for like me, 250 views will be like my whole day. If like this video I'm making today, that'll probably be the whole day. That'd be the whole day. That'll be like my whole viewer. But keep in mind, I have, 12,000 subscribers, so I know it's all a numbers game. But at the same time, I just think, wow, a guy posts a video, and within 2 minutes, that many people are scrambling to see that video. And then once again, within 7 minutes, close to 1,000 people have already hit that guy's channel, just waiting for the latest, greatest news. It just doesn't make sense. It seems fishy to me, man. I just think it, I don't know. I wish other people would kind of weigh in and just kind of really say what they think. But I'm not Mr. George P. George P., this guy can buy cars and motorcycles and airplanes and whatever he wants. He's kind of disappeared from my channel too. But this guy here, I mean, I can't compete with this guy, and that is what my channel's about. Maybe thinks I'm out here trying to say I can buy more cars than anybody out there, and I'm bigger and badder than you. There's no way. There's no way. There's somebody who has so much more money than I have. That isn't the agenda of my channel. My agenda is I just share with you how crazy I am, and I just get bored of something, get something else. And I try to get deep conversations as well, just to share with others. It isn't all about just me buying cars. There's a lot of knowledge and information that I like to share and talk intellectually as well. So there you go, everybody. Hey, thanks for watching my channel. Beautiful day here. Got the new worker coming in. Got to get them going today. Hot, hot, hot. So stay tuned for more adventures. And as always, God bless and have a great day.